Hey you guys, it is Ali. I am your eccentric nomad. Welcome back to my channel, Where's Ali? Y'all, today I am going to share with you about my quick excursion through South Korea and Japan. Well, today I'm just going to share about the South Korea part, a couple tips and some highlights from my trip, some things that I think y'all might want to know. My channel is about travel, all things travel for the most part, and the life that I live in that travel journey, and my quest to assist you guys through my life who want to do the same thing or something similar. If you want to take a sabbatical, if you're trying to figure out how to take a year off, if you're trying to figure out how to just leave the traditional life and come over to the other side. I'm hoping that my journey and the things that I share, my shorts and these videos, is helpful to you, and you also can reach out to me to chat with me one-on-one about your personal quests or any questions that you may have. All right, y'all, so just recently, last week, I did a short stint through South Korea and Tokyo, Japan, before landing back here in Thailand to do some slow matting again. For the past 4 months, I have been in Vietnam, y'all. I love it. I am super surprised. And I'll give you my link tree, and then you can get all my links to where you can find me on social media. You'll see like highlights of different things, you know, just living the life, y'all. It was slow matting. I loved it. Who knew? Like, I did not know that I would love Vietnam the way that I do. But anyway, I'm back in my fantastic land of smiles, Thailand. I'm happy to be here. But anyway, I want to share with you guys a little bit about my trip to South Korea, because I think it's another one of those places that I think we bypass, don't consider. I know I didn't really, until one of my friends mentioned that she had been there and she really loved it, and I had a layover there on my way to Vietnam from Costa Rica, and I was so surprised with just the energy and the feel just from being in the airport. Like, it just, I was like, maybe I should try it out. So I did, just to let you guys know, and whether or not I would return. So stay to the end of the video to find out if I would actually return. All right, y'all, let's get into it. From Vietnam, it was only $108. That included my bags and upgrading to a front 3 or 4 row seat. FYI. Pardon the birds in the background. I swear they just started chirping as soon as I got on. Pull up my notes, y'all, so I can stay on target. Okay, so a couple things I want to tell you guys right out the gate about moving around in Korea. These are going to be tips and things that you should know if you're doing short or long travel. It doesn't matter. But what I learned in my 3 days there that I would do differently or understand how to do better. So number one thing, if you are a U.S. passport holder, you do not need their e-visa form filled out. That's the first thing. We don't need that. You don't need anything COVID related. We don't need any visa. And for U.S. passport holders to stay in Korea, we can stay 90 days. All right. One of the things that you have to do, so firstly, when you come out of the airport and it's international, to get to immigration, you're literally going to walk downstairs and get on a train. Okay, this threw me off, and this is how I met my first friend that I ended up hanging out with while I was in Vietnam, or I'm sorry, in Korea. Upon arrival to the immigration area, let the plane go by. So on the plane, you fill out your yellow card. You can do the QR code online, and that's your health form, and that replaces the yellow paper. So there's a couple steps to go through. When you get to immigration, you're going through the line, and you may miss all of these very loud signs and things that tell you you need an arrival card. So if you don't have that card on arrival, they're gonna send you back to fill it out, get back in line, and start again. Okay, they do your fingerprints and a picture. So just FYI. And they put a sticker, very small sticker, instead of a stamp, which I think everybody would do because they're easier to read. And so they put a little small sticker in your passport once you are approved through immigration. So heads up about that. And every person in the family, go ahead and fill it out, even for the kids, because I was behind a family of 4 and they sent them all back because they did not have arrival cards even for the kids. Y'all, when you standing in line for 30 minutes and you got kids with you, or you're like multifamily or whatever, and you don't fill this out and have to go back, you can try to butt and get back in line and just say, hey, I was in this line and I had to go back to fill such and such out. Some people will let you in, and everything needs to be filled out. Look at the board and it'll tell you which ones are mandatory. If you are missing even one thing, they're going to send you back. All right, that's number 1. Number 2, get a SIM card at the airport. All right, if you're staying short term, definitely get one at the airport. If you're going to be there longer and you know you're going to be moving around, you can get one at the mall somewhere if you can, you know, make it through, because there is Wi-Fi in the airport, there is Wi-Fi in the train station. If you take the express train, you'll have Wi-Fi in the express train as well. So for me, being there only 3.5 days, I should have gotten a SIM card in the airport. The flip side, the other option is to get it used to purchase eSIM, which you can do online. Well, the only thing about that is you need to make sure that your phone is eSIM compatible. My Samsung S20 FE is not eSIM compatible, at least not now. It needs an update or something. I'm going to check because there was just an update. But just, you go into your settings, you go into your mobile, and then when you click on SIM Manager, it'll show eSIM as an option. If it's not there, then your phone is not eSIM compatible. Okay, if you know you're going to be moving around and jumping trains and visiting and doing all kinds of things, I just say go ahead and pay for a SIM card when you're at the airport. All right. Number 3, taxis are few and expensive, so take the trains. I was going to fork over the cost, not knowing what it is, because they don't have rideshare there. They may use something that is Korean based, but it wasn't worth installing for me at the time. And when I talk about Japan, I'll mention that their system requires that you have a phone number, so that's another reason to get a SIM card. But I ended up meeting a girl in immigration, and we ended up hanging out, and she was taking the train, and bam, so I jumped on the train with her. So I'm going to share with you about a few things about the train. We ended up taking the express train. It's probably 15 to 20 minutes faster, clean, and you get assigned seats. The other trains are just as clean, but they're more commuter trains. With the express train, you get an assigned seat, you have space, it's chill, it's fast, and you got Wi-Fi. That is reliable on the train. One of the things I will suggest that I did not do is to buy a train pass card. So when you're at the train station, don't get a one pass. Like when you're at the kiosk, you can pick and you can do like round trip, or you can do like a multi ad card. Do that. The reason being because the city is completely subway driven, which you will see when you try to Google anything and you want to walk simply across the street. It will try to take you on the subway, and when you click the little walking man, it's going to say error, can't find, even though it's a walking city. So FYI, go ahead and get the reloadable card, because everywhere I noticed there was a reloadable machine, but there wasn't always an ATM. When this was critical in my attempt to come back to ICN airport to fly out to Japan, it was critical, almost to the point like I almost missed my flight. And having machines where you can actually pay or buy a ticket, it may not be available. So just get a reloadable card and it'll make your life much easier. Click that subscribe button, click that notification bell, so you get a notification when I post about my fiasco trying to get back to ICN airport to fly to Japan, and how that worked out. Okay, number 5, 6, or 7, I don't even know which one we are on. The express train is still pretty cheap, even though there's no rideshare or whatever. It came up to around $9,500 for a one-way pass. That comes up to $7.48. All right, from what I understand, the taxis, because it is over an hour drive, like an hour 10 to 30 minute drive from ICN to like the heart of Seoul, like very expensive. And if you want to go ahead and jump on this train, it was fantastic. All right, a couple of other things: area, locations, places to be. I'm just going to talk about the 2 areas that I was in and not about all the surrounding areas that I wasn't in, but I did hear about. A lot of people say for a first-time traveler to go to the, and I'm going to butcher this name, so bear with me and correct me if necessary, the Myeongdong area is the area that is like streets, it's everything is walkable. There's tons of stores, tons of food options, everything. It's like right smack in this area. And then come about 1-2 p.m. they open their night market, so everybody puts carts in the middle of the streets and all of that. And it's like that every single day. Lots of hotels in those areas. Let the plane go by. So lots of different options. Yes, it's going to be a little bit more expensive because it is definitely a tourist area. Now, a lot of people say stay there. I personally, in my age demographic, which you guys know I'm over 50, but I love to hang out. I love a good bar. I love, music and being able to go to places and possibly even meet people and things like that. Good, cool atmosphere and environment without it being a red light district, right? We'll talk more about that when I talk about Japan. So stay tuned for those. Click that notification bell, y'all. Okay. If you want all of that and you want a little bit of the boutique feel and everything, stay in Insadong. Insadong was fantastic for me. Loved it. It's mature crowds. You've got bars, you've got restaurants, you have shopping, you have temples, you have villages to visit, and it's easily walkable, y'all. I didn't catch a train anytime I was in Korea except to and from the airport. Now, I could have to go to some of the other areas, but I don't think that they were really would have appealed to my demographic and what I was looking for, especially considering I was only there for 3 days. All right. Another thing about the train system, the trains pretty much stopped running at like 12. So note to self, if you're going to end up in a area, I don't know what they call them, district or something like that, that requires you to get on a train, make sure that you got cash or whatever to take a taxi back. Okay, note to self, just be aware. Insadong was fantastic, and it's kind of like right in the center of Seoul. Like it's right in the middle. You can disperse and get everywhere that you need to go. It's easy to get from the side streets and such to the larger train station. Subways are everywhere, easy to catch, and a beautiful space to be in. Within 20-25 minutes you could pretty much walk in any direction and be in a new experience. Another thing, Korea is carnivore heavy. That's why, hence Korean barbecue, which is meat. It's meat. Now, so if you are a plant-based person like myself, I suggest you Google some things beforehand and you kind of think about what it is that you want to eat so that you can find those things. You can find a lot of Indian-based places and things like that. You'll find Italian too, so you can have pasta if you want. You can also get you may not be as successful with authentic or traditional Korean because again, it's Korean barbecue, but if they do like a veggie hot pot, which most will not, one thing that I ended up doing was getting a hot pot that had pork and just asked them to remove the meat. I will pay the same price, but I wanted all the kimchi, it was the one that had the most veggies. I just didn't want the meat and I just asked for extra veggies. Worked out perfectly. All right, so then if you're sitting at the table with meat eaters, you get the veggie hot pot, and they can get the other items that have meat, and then they can use the sauce, the broth, and all of that from your veggie hot pot with the meat if they want. Just a way to do the group thing, okay, y'all? Because if you know me, you know that I'm about the group thing. Let's share some items, okay? In the Insadong area, there are vegetarian shops. There's one in particular. I will actually leave the link in the description. It was very, very, very good, and that's in the Insadong walking streets. So note to self. I think this is kind of the last tip thing to know, which you'll probably find out if you're doing any type of research. Korea is not cheap in terms of like when you compare it to Vietnam or Thailand. It is not cheap in that respect. Willing to spend $2,000-$3,000 or something like that, you can easily stay at a very nice hotel for $150 to $200 a night, the entire Seoul area, and possibly visit Busan and Jeju, right? Of two places that I did not go on this trip, which is why I will share my thoughts at the end about whether or not I'll go back. And some of my favorite things that I want to share about Korea is, number one, Insadong walking street. I loved it. Boutiques, I mean, and it's not just, it's one street that goes through, but it kind of branches off, and if you walk around, you'll find nooks and crannies with ice cream and treats and veggie places and music. It's full of things that places and things to explore, shopping, all of that. Actually, I should have bought things from Korea because the prices for clothes was actually really reasonable. The largest palace there that has multiple palaces within the grounds. It's really cool. It's interesting to kind of see how people lived. You can walk all the way through. It's a huge area. When you walk outside of the temples themselves, you'll end up in like a nice little walking area where you can walk around a pond. So there's lots of things to do there. And then right across the street, you're gonna hit the Bukchon area, and there's a village north of the posh kind of boutique style area that you can walk through, and it's really cute. Restaurants, bars, boutiques, places that you can stay if you want to actually rent and stay in that area. The Myeongdong walking streets and the night market are fantastic. It's a musty. You have to go. You can get a massage there for $25,000, $19. Everything in the walking street is about $5,000 or less. Some things may be more, just kind of depends on what you're paying for, but most of the signs I saw said $5,000, which is $3.84 USD converted. Jongno area south of Insadong and north of Myeongdong is really cool. You can literally just traipse through these streets. There's a couple parks over there. There's tons of bars, tons of restaurants, people walking around, so you can people watch. There's coffee shops, there's everything. There's high end, low end, right in the middle. I mean, so a little bit of everything. There's a river. They have what I call little violin concerts on the river walk that you can check out at night. I ended up meeting up with a lady that I met on Facebook, as well as the girl that I met in the immigration area, or trying to get to immigration at the airport. Hung out, had a fantastic time. I also was solo for the majority, except that one day that I hung out with them. Very safe, clean place. I walked around at night, 11:30, 12 o'clock at night by myself. Most of these countries, especially in Asia and in Europe, come alive at night, so you typically won't have an issue being out in public by yourself at night. Everyone I encountered was kind. The trains are super clean. It's a very walkable city. So here it is. Would I go back? Yes, I loved it. I really enjoyed Korea. I was pleasantly surprised. When I visit again, I will hit up Jeju Island as well as Busan to check those two places out, and probably spend a day or so in Icy and Incheon area just to see what that is like. So if you guys have ever aspired to go to South Korea, I strongly encourage you going. And if you notice, when I talked most of my trip, I didn't do any tours. I went to the palace houses by myself. But if you want to do that tour where you go and you can see North Korea, like I guess you can go to an area and look over the wall or whatever, and you can see into North Korea. They have those as well. I didn't do that. Not sure if I ever would. Not sure if I'm interested in it or not, but that is available to do as well. So you guys, Korea was a thumbs up. I definitely enjoyed it. Definitely enjoyed the atmosphere, and it's a little bit cooler. It's hot, but it's a little bit cooler, so it was just a little bit of a reprieve from the balminess in Vietnam. So you guys, fantastic option. Again, if this was helpful and it is kind of sealing your deal to potentially go to South Korea or add it to your list of places to go, click my subscribe button, learn more about my travels. And if you have any questions, this is just kind of a highlight reel, so to speak, send me a message. Go to my Linktree and you can sign up for a consultation, 30-minute consultation session, and basically we just kind of chat through some things, ideas, or if you need advice on different places that I've been, or just travel in general, how to, hit me up, you guys. I'm here for you. I hope again this was helpful, and hopefully I might see some of you guys out here on in these travel streets, or on the plane, train, bus, or automobile. All right, you guys, I'm gonna get out of here. You guys know the drill. Toodles and noodles, peace and hair grease.